Hello students. In today's lecture we are going to discuss about metals and non-metals. Okay, by the end of this lecture you will understand the basic classification of elements into metals and non-metals. Okay, and you need to know what are the physical properties of these metals and non-metals. So before entering into the lecture, I would like to pose some questions to all of you. Okay. First, listen to me carefully. Have you ever wondered why we use iron for bridges? Similarly, we use wood for our furnitures, is it not? So, for different purposes, we are using different materials. Okay, and which material we use for the electrical wires? Did you observe? So, it is basically we use copper for the electrical wires. And for jewelry, which material you use? Generally we use silver and gold for the jewelry. Now we are getting other type of metals also, German silver, those kind of things, imitation jewelry, so many things are coming into picture, right? Depending upon the cost we are going to select. So for different purposes we are using different types of materials. Okay, and how we use store our food? Usually we store in the plastic containers, and we avoid metals. So why? That also you need to think. So if you understand, we are using different materials. For example, just now we discussed about iron, copper, wood, gold, silver. These all materials you can see in the periodic table. So now coming into the periodic table, we are having different elements. So different materials and different elements are having different properties. So based upon their properties, we are going to have a classification among the materials as metals and non-metals, and which are partial or mid in between these two, we name them as metalloids. They are not pure metals and they are not pure non-metals. So these things we are going to discuss today. Okay. Now our what we are doing is we are taking different activities over here. The purpose of doing these activities is to identify the properties of metals. Okay, if you observe here what they are doing, samples of iron, copper, aluminium and magnesium, we are taking those samples. Note the appearance of each sample. So if you observe the appearance of the sample, how they look, that is more important. Okay, clean the surface of each sample by rubbing them with the sandpaper and note their appearance again. So how they are looking? Basically they are shining appearance, that you can observe, right? And metals in their pure state have shining surface. This property is called the metallic luster. This you have to identify. So if you are rubbing with the sandpaper, you will see them more shining. Okay, so the property, one of the property of the metals is having a shiny surface, and that property is also named as metallic luster. Now second activity what they are doing, you observe small pieces of iron, copper, aluminium and magnesium you are collecting. Try to cut these metals with a sharp knife and note your observations. Hold a piece of sodium metal with a pair of tongues. So here one caution is also given. Always handle sodium metal with care. Dry it by pressing between the folds of a filter paper. Put on a watch glass and try to cut it with a knife. What do you observe? So if you observe, basically they are hard in nature. You will find the metals are generally hard. So the hardness varies from metal to metal. So this you all observe, right? If it is a iron is a very hard substance. Compared to iron, silver and gold, Rm, they are soft in nature. Okay, but in general the property is hardness. Now we discuss about the other property. We take the pieces of iron, zinc, lead and copper, place any one metal on a block of iron, okay, and strike it 4 or 5 times with a hammer. Okay, what do you observe? Repeat with other metals. Record the changes in the shape of these metals. So if you do like that, what will be your observation is metals can be beaten into thin sheets. We can make the metal into thin sheets. So even you can observe, we can get the metallic sheets, right? Depending upon our requirement, we can purchase metallic sheets, right? So why we are able to make them into sheets is the property is known as malleability. So that is nothing but malleability. So gold and silver are the most malleable metals. That's why we are making them into fine ornaments. How the designs are made, because they are very malleable. They are available in the form of biscuits, is it not? In the form of coins, right? And in the form of ornaments. So depending upon the requirement, we are having this malleability we are using with the metals. Now we are doing another activity, that is nothing but list the metals whose wires you have seen in daily life. So which type of metals are available in the form of wires? Any idea? Copper wires, windings you are getting. Iron wires are available, is it not? You will be observing these things. So how you are able to make them into thin wires? So that property is known as ductility. So ductility is the property that we can make them into thin wires. That is the property. If it is a most ductile metal is gold. And one more thing you can see here, you are surprised, you can make 2 kilometers length can be drawn from 1 gram of gold. See how ductile it is. You can make 2 kilometers length wire using 1 gram of gold. So it is because of their malleability and ductility that metals can be given different shapes according to our needs, right? So now different properties we observe. Just to recollect those topics. Basically they are lustrous, shiny in appearance, they are malleable, right? Malleable means you can make them into sheets, and they are ductile, they can be drawn into wires. Observe the next activity. Here we are taking aluminum or copper wire. Okay, you can observe here. Clamp this wire on a stand. Okay, fix a pin to the free end of the wire using the wax. You can see here we are putting a pin. Free end of the wire is here, and we are using wax. Okay, and we are having a burner over here, and metal wire is this one. This is that we are testing. We are having a stand and clamp to fix that metal wire with the burner. Okay, and what we are testing here is we are heating the wire with a spirit lamp, candle or burner near the place where it is clamped. So what are the observations is metals are good conductors of heat and they have high melting points. So with this activity we are proving that metals are good conductors of heat and they have high melting points. So this is the another property that you have to note down. They are very good conductors of heat, and their melting points are also very high. The best conductors of heat are silver and copper. Lead and mercury are comparatively poor conductors of heat. So with this activity we are observing these qualities. Here another observation is just whatever the wires that we are using at home, electric wires, we are we will see that they are having a coating, PVC coating, a rubber like material will be there on the copper wire. If you cut that rubber kind of thing, you observe inside that you will find see the copper wires, is it not? So if plug is connected, if you directly touch the copper wire, definitely you will observe that shocking effect. So to protect from that, we are coating that with the rubber kind of materials. So there you need to observe that copper is a good conductor of electricity, but that rubber or PVC is not a conductor of electricity, right? Just a recollection of the observations. So all elements in the periodic table are broadly divided into metals and non-metals. So the metals will be found on the left and center of the periodic table. On the left corner you can observe all the metals. On the right corner of the periodic table you observe the left corner metals, and on the right corner you will observe non-metals, inert gases, all those things will come on the right corner. So in between you will observe metalloids. They are not pure metals or not non-pure metals. And now whatever the observation that we made, the physical properties of metals are lustrous. They are lustrous in nature. Lustrous means shiny in appearance. They are malleable. Malleable means they can be beaten into sheets. They are ductile in nature. That means they can be drawn into wires. And they are the good conductors of heat and electricity. Good conductors of heat and electricity. And they are also sonorous. That means they produce ringing sound when stuck. That's why in school bell we are having a iron kind of thing. So in the olden days we used to have that. Now you are having, I hope, electronic bells also. So, and another thing, metals will be solid at room temperature except mercury, which is a liquid that you observe in the thermometer, that mercury will be in the form of liquid, is it not? So now these are the basic properties of the metals. Okay, usually iron, copper, aluminium, gold, silver, these are the good metals that you observe, right? Where we use iron? Iron used in the construction, bridges, machines, and copper used in the electrical wiring, that is very good conductor of electricity. Aluminium used in the aircraft bodies because it is very light in weight, and even in the kitchen utensils also we see aluminium. And gold and silver we are using for the jewelry making, is it not? So these are some of the observations. So metals are generally shiny, malleable, ductile, and good conductors of heat and electricity. So whenever you observe any metal, just you try to classify what is the property of that particular material, whether it is a metal or a non-metal. Thank you.